All right, so today is May 16th, 2021. We're doing our first brood inspection of the honey house apiary. So today what we're going to do is we're going to take the roof off. We're going to actually clean out and refill the feeder. We'll take off the super and we'll spray the top and bottom with some sugar water, and then we're going to inspect the entire brood of this brood frame and make sure it's all healthy and that the honeycomb is being made and maybe even some brood is being laid. And then on this bottom one, we're only going to check the first and the 10th frame because it's already really healthy in the middle of it, that we just want to make sure that the ends are getting the care and attention that they need. So we're going to go ahead and get started just piece by piece, nice and slowly. Remember that, so you don't want to disturb your bees. All right, so our feeder is actually almost empty, which is a good sign. It means that the bees, they've been climbing all the way up through the super and getting up into here and coming back down and getting some nutrients and then climbing back down and feeding the hive. So that means they like all of it and they just don't mind climbing through and going for the easy snack up top. Oh yeah, look at all the bees up here. Okay, so it's a really good sign that we have so many bees up here. It means that they really don't mind, climbing up here. Because last time we put on the second super, or the second brood, because there were so many out here during the nighttime. Smoke it up a little bit. But we have a whole bunch of bees up here, which is a good sign. Now we'll take the queen excluder off. And I don't see the queen on here, so I'm just going to set it down. Alright, and now the fun begins. So I'll start on this one, and I'm just going to work my way down one by one to check on them and make sure that they are all healthy and working and doing great. Okay, so there's not much going on, but we have bees, which is good. So I don't think we'll have a whole lot of too much growth on these outer probably 3 or so frames. But these 3 or 4 frames right here, I think, well, at least I hope that there's going to be a lot of growth and brood. So now we're on number 3. It's still looking about the same. The bees are just kind of making sure that they like it, and they're exploring and marking it and getting it all plotted out. All right, so now we're on the 4th frame. All right, and as you can see, they've started to lay some comb. There's a whole lot, there's not moving a lot, which means they're working really hard on where they are, which is a pretty good sign, which means that they really like where they're at. So this is frame number 5. Let's see just how hard these bees have been working. Okay, so the middle of this honeycomb is just about fully finished, and they've started to starting to fill out the edge. I would say that this frame's about 50% done and almost ready. And you have to remember, we put this in this brood hive, we put it on here a week ago. So it's been about 7 days and the bees are already working really hard and making honeycomb. Now you'll notice that I'm not really looking for the queen right now. That's because there's no brood cells, so that she's not up here laying eggs, because all the workers here, there's not enough honeycomb for her to come up and start laying everything. So she's still probably down here just laying out 1,000 eggs a day. So now we are on the 6th frame. Okay. This one's looking really good. This one's actually doing better than the 5th frame. Okay, so we actually have some honey in here.
Oh yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna lift up this second brood, and we're gonna look in the bottom one right now, see if we can find the queen. Okay, so we've taken the top brood hive out, and we've seen that they've made some propolis up here, which is basically like some honeycomb that they're making, but they're trying to connect it to the top, but it hasn't quite connected yet. So all I'm doing right now is I'm gonna slowly scrape it all off. So this brood is really healthy, so we don't really need to check all the middle frames. But what we're going to do is we're going to check the 1st and the 10th frame to make sure that they're really filling it all out. All right, so we've taken the top brood frame off, and now we're going to take, or brood hive, and now we're going to check the 1st and 10th frames on this one. Since it's so healthy, we aren't going to check the middle of it right now. So here comes number 1. All right, so things are pretty filled out on this. You can see there's some caps up here, and all the bees are in the middle. But this side is actually still very empty. But you can see that all the ones in the middle over here, all these really dark splotches, are where some bees have actually hatched recently. So that is a good sign, even though the other side is a little bare. All right, so now we're moving on to the 10th frame to check and see what it's doing. Making sure that it's looking all nice and good. All right, so over here they're starting to put some honeycomb down, but it's still pretty, not a whole lot of action going on. But over here, The top half of this frame is all capped, and that's it's looking really good. And then just like the other side, all those dark spots that you see, most of them are recently hatched eggs. And then on this one, actually, all these little capped ones in the middle, the dark yellow caps right here in the middle under the white capping on top, those are all bees that are about to hatch. So that's really good. That means the queen's been laying and the eggs have been developing healthy. Let's see if we can find her on this one. Okay, I'm about to put this 10th frame back. It's looking really good and healthy. Did you get stung or did you just drop it?
I just dropped
All right, so for a little surprise ending for everyone who stayed this long in the video, I'm about to take out the 5th frame of the bottom brood hive, and hopefully we're about to see a whole lot of healthy action in this brood hive. So on this side, if you look, you can see how many of these open cells, they're full of little white, some of them are really teeny tiny, smaller than a grain of rice, and they've just been laid. They're the larvae, and some of them, they look like 2 grains of rice, like kind of folded together. They're the ones that are about to be capped, and they're about to turn into bees in about a week. And if you look on this side, you can see where a lot of eggs have hatched. And then on your bottom right, you see where all those capped cells are. That is a whole bunch of bees that are about to actually hatch in the next like 2 or 3 days. All right, that is a good looking brood cell, or brood frame. So now I'm about to put it back and let it do its thing for the next few days or week or so.